Hi everyone, welcome to the Sports Zone. I'm your host Fahad Shah. I've got my guest here, Subhan. How are ya?
I'm great, mate. How are you?
Just another week of sports,
Okay,
innit?
blank me. But how are you, mate?
I'm good. Yeah, no, I was kind of carrying on, to be fair. But like another week of sports gone, innit? Yeah, we're coming to the end of pretty much the season now.
2 games left.
Exactly, yeah, like 2 league games left. I think, is it just for the Prem or is it
No.
almost for every league, isn't it?
No,
Like
no.
it is?
Serie A got I think 7, 8 games left. No,
Have they?
maybe 5. I think.
Wow. But the
other
league's
leagues,
done,
yeah,
isn't it?
pretty
Yeah,
much,
like isn't like is top 4 sorted
Top 4
for them
basically
too?
confirmed, yeah.
Like, is that confirmed as well? So, like, is their relegation confirmed too?
I think 2 teams are basically relegated. It's just
So it's
Europa
just
League
playing
race.
out for the rest of the games, pretty
I
much.
think so, yeah.
Yeah, like, and Juventus have pretty much just
pretty
ran
much
away
the
with the league.
Yeah.
I think Bundesliga got one, like, when Liverpool, like, I think before actually Liverpool ended up winning the Prem.
They started way before though.
Yeah, they did. And but in the Prem, obviously, we spoke about fixtures last week, and the one fixture we spoke about in particular was the North London derby.
Yeah.
Now, we both predicted Arsenal were going to win that game.
They were leading.
And they were leading. And the capitulation that they had was unbelievable.
I don't know what happened to them. I have absolutely no idea.
Who scored their goal? Was it Lacazette? Oh, yes, it was a screamer as well.
Yes.
It was an absolute...
Yeah,
it was a fantastic strike from Lacazette too. But then just... They fully just
Arsenal's
collapsed.
defense came alive.
Yeah, honestly, like, I think it was Kolasinac first that did the pass back to David Luiz, which completely misplaced. It wasn't Luiz's fault. I felt like he should have done better when it came to being side to side with Son.
I think he was just more surprised that,
Yeah, that the pass
pass
was
was
even
that
coming
bad.
to him, because
Yeah.
it shouldn't have even gone to him in the first place. And then the header off a corner, which Arsenal have been known for conceding off set pieces for like the past 5 years.
yeah, no one is marking him.
No one's marking Alderweireld, who's an aerial threat, who's probably the only aerial threat in their team besides Kane. Aubameyang missed a sitter as well. He missed an open chance where... I know Arsenal fans are saying he's unlucky, but I believe in that position with his quality, that
He has to
should be
score
a
them
goal.
goals, yeah.
You have to score, especially in a game like that. Yeah, like, you
That
cannot
was a
be
must-win
missing.
game as well.
Exactly, yeah. Like, it's not like both teams were playing for something. It's just the fact that it's a North London derby. But then, midweek, Arsenal faced Liverpool at Emirates, where Arsenal were predicted to get battered. Whereas me being a Liverpool fan, we haven't been playing the best since lockdown. Yeah, we've won the league. Yes, we beat Crystal Palace 4-0. But that was... I feel like we did that game to win the league. And then when we won the... And then after we've won the league, we've kind of just took a back seat when it comes to even beating teams.
took
Which
the
as a
foot off the
fan...
pedal and just,
Exactly, which as a fan, yes, we've won the league, but you don't like seeing your team lose no matter what it is or whenever it is. And you don't like seeing them not try. Like, if we put 100% into that game, we would have 100% won that game.
Yeah.
We had 28 shots.
I think
No,
Arsenal had,
24 shots, 8
Arsenal
on
had,
target.
3, I think.
8
3
on target. I said this year to a lot of people after the game, if Man City have 24 shots, they're scoring 10 goals. Against Arsenal especially.
With their defence.
Exactly. And then Arsenal, you're like a mistake, like a very rare mistake from Virgil van Dijk. And then another defensive mistake too, which led to their 2 goals. And then Arsenal just sat back and they defended. Arguably the best they've ever defended in the last 2 years.
They did what they needed to do.
Exactly. Now you probably think, that why don't they do that on a regular basis against top teams?
Then
Like, why don't they just sit back and counter?
But how often are they going to get 2 defensive mistakes?
Exactly, yeah,
up in
by
the air?
opposite teams, innit? So, that was one game. The race for top 4, it's
turn.
it actually has, because the teams are winning now. Chelsea won 1-0. I think Leicester won 2-0, I think, or something like that. I think they beat whoever they faced. And Man United won 2-0 as well.
But then they drew early in the week.
Exactly. So I think Man United are
I think they're still
4th. No, they're above Leicester, I think.
on goal difference.
But yeah, by goal difference. The last game of the season is Man United versus Leicester.
Yeah, that's how I
And,
think United go.
and I think Chelsea are facing Wolves. Chelsea have us.
Next game.
Yeah.
Next game.
Yeah, like our next game is against Chelsea at home, where we actually lift the Premier League title. I feel like we should win that game. Chelsea are very inconsistent. They win one, they lose one. They win one, they lose one. They scraped that win. Yeah, like with a goal from Giroud. Yeah, like, whereas Man United is a team where not a lot of teams would actually want to face right now, because they're not great when you look at their individuals,
most
but their
informed team.
form exactly like they haven't lost a game. I think they're 19 games unbeaten.
Since lockdown, they haven't. I think they only drew one game since.
Exactly,
since then.
yeah, like, and they score, like, especially their attack in Martial, Greenwood, and Marcus Rashford.
All on fire. Yeah.
They are scoring goals every single game. Like, I think they've all beaten their best tally so far. Like, Martial's best tally for Manchester United was, I think, 11. He's now on, I think, 16 or 15. And Rashford was, I think, his best was probably 14. And he's level with Salah.
In the league.
Yeah.
That's quite surprising.
Exactly. Yeah, so they are on fire right now, yeah. But, again, yeah, like, the race for top 4 is, like, I think is going to go down to the wire. It really is. It's going to massively go down to the wire.
Day, United,
100%, yeah. Like, it's actually going to be between them two teams.
Because if Chelsea lose the next 2 games, then you never know.
I think if
Leicester
any
will still
team loses a game now,
it will be.
they will, like, it's
probably-
kind
I
of
think-
them out of the like, it's kind of them out that top 4 race,
I still
because
think
every
it'll
game's a
be
must-win
Chelsea
game.
United. I do
What?
still think it'll be them two.
What, you think Leicester will drop out
I think Leicester will lose the last game of the season.
to Man
Against
United?
yeah. And then just
That's going to be like a final for both teams. That is, because obviously Leicester even getting where they are
is
is very, like, it's very impressive considering they haven't really done anything since they last won the league. But now that Brendan Rodgers took over, he's fully changed the squad around.
made a few good signings as well.
Exactly, yeah. Like, they've still got, obviously, Jamie Vardy has hit the ground running this season. Yeah, like everybody thought, that since the season that he won the league when he hit 20 plus goals, it was a one-off. He's never going to hit 20 plus goals again. And then this season, he's managed to do it.
He's been consistent since then, though, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. Like, he's always done 15 goals plus, but like that 20 plus goals, he's never done that until this season again. So he's been on fire. You got players like Ndidi that have been on fire. Yeah, you got the defenders is it Suyonchu?
The Turkish one.
Yeah, who was the Harry Maguire replacement, who they only got, I think, was it for like...
They had him already, he was on the bench. and
Oh,
they just
yeah.
brought
So
him in.
there you go. So he wasn't even... So they didn't even buy anybody. So it just shows, innit, that with the right, like...
Players.
They had the perfect balance in their team, which is why they are in the top 4 race.
And they probably do deserve it as well, but then United do as well. based on their
Exactly,
form.
yeah, like considering. So that's top 4. Another team that we need to talk about is the team that had just recently won the league in Spain, which is Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Real Madrid, in La Liga especially, past 10, 15 years, let's even say, they have been playing second fiddle to Barcelona a lot. Like Barca, I think there's a stat that 8 out of the last 11 league title wins have been Barcelona, which is impressive for Barcelona on its own. But teams of that caliber, they don't just want to win the league. They should be challenging for the Champions League because their league isn't that competitive. When you deep it, like the top 2 will always be Barcelona and Real Madrid. They will never get knocked off unless Atletico pull off like miracle
Like they
performances.
did that one season.
Exactly, yeah. Like I think it was 2013-14 when they won the league with the Diego Costa up top.
Yeah.
So Real Madrid have won the league. This is their second season now without Cristiano Ronaldo. This is Eden Hazard's first season.
Yeah.
Courtois' second season. Players like Ferland's Mendy have just joined the club as well. James Rodriguez has just come off loan. Like, he came back off loan this season. Eder Militao
First
is new
season.
as well. They won the league being 9 points behind Barcelona before lockdown. They were 9 points behind them.
And now they're like 5 points clear.
And now they've won the league. And it just shows you that their squad needed that push. And Zidane was that guy. Now, he has won 11 trophies in 5 years being a manager. 11.
If any other manager did that, they'll be... if
They'd be
Guardiola
deemed the
did
best
it,
manager in the world.
Look at Zidane.
They would be deemed the best manager in the world. And yes, they can say, they're managing Real Madrid, but the pressure for managing a team of that caliber,
It's
winning
enormous.
back-to-back Champions Leagues, I don't think that will be ever done again, in my opinion. Especially 3. Not 3, back-to-back,
With the same team as
with
well.
the exact same squad. I think the only difference they had was in the first 2, I think Morata was there. And in the last one, he left. So they made no additions.
It was basically the same team.
It
that
was the
started
exact
all 3
same
games.
starting 11. The exact same starting 11. And if you actually seen the squad before he came, they were down in the dumps. Like they lost to Barcelona. I think was it 4-1 at the Bernabeu. This was in an El Clasico league game when Rafa Benitez was manager. Then when he came, they beat Barcelona at Nou Camp 4-1, and then everybody was like, yeah, like Zidane is turning this team around. And 5 years later, he's got 11 trophies, 2 league titles, 3 Champions Leagues. He has to be considered as one of the best in the past 10 years. Easily.
He has to be.
He has to be. But where do you think this Real Madrid side, like, they're going to head to? Obviously, because losing your best ever player, Cristiano Ronaldo, yeah, like, there is no debate. He is the greatest player to ever wear a Real Madrid shirt, 100%. You're talking about a player who was there for 10 years, who, with every trophy they won, the 3 back-to-back Champions League titles, they won because of him. He was a key, integral part in every trophy they won since the time that he was there up until the time that he left.
Yeah.
When he left, fans like you, fans like me, we were saying this about Real Madrid. It's going to take a while for them to be back on top in La Liga and the Champions League. We were proved wrong. They've won the league within their second season without Cristiano Ronaldo. They've not made many additions over the last 2 years, especially when it comes to top players. They've only signed Hazard and Courtois. And Courtois last season was deemed a flop because he conceded so many goals.
At the start of this season?
He was. And then he managed to pick up along with the defence with Sergio Ramos.
Oh, absolutely unbelievable this season.
I mean, you already know I've never liked the guy.
I know you're
I'm not
a hater.
I'm not a hater because the one thing I will say about him, I don't think he's a great defensive player. Like, he's not, like, when you look at the art of defending in football, you don't think of Sergio Ramos. But when you look at being a winner, you have to look at Sergio Ramos. I did say this earlier to one of my friends. Because he's arguably the greatest winner in the history of football. When it comes to being a match winner, when it comes to being a clutch player.
He's a leader as well.
He's a leader. He's been there, since Zidane was playing for Real Madrid.
I've seen something where he was there for Zidane's last season.
He was
at Real Madrid.
And now Zidane, yeah, exactly. So Sergio Ramos has been that constant for Real Madrid. He's not had, I don't think he's ever had a season like this. This has to be his greatest ever season ever. Like, he has to be in contention for being top 2 greatest defenders of all time.
Yeah.
He has to be. Because he's won it all.
Look what he's won.
He's won it all. His performances in big games have been fantastic. We're talking Champions League finals.
Was he the captain as well for when they won 3 in a row?
Yes, he was.
There you go.
He was the captain.
The leader. And look what he's done for
And he scored in, I think, 2 of them, didn't he? Or he scored in 1 final.
Atletico. When he scored
Atletico,
2 in the 90th minute.
Yeah. He scored 2 goals in 2 finals, I think. He scores in semi-finals. He's even the highest scoring defender. I think he scored, 12 goals this season from centre-back.
I know he's in double digits. First one of the double digits. I'm pretty
He's
sure
their penalty taker, isn't he?
He is.
To be the club's penalty taker.
God's sake.
To be the club's penalty taker, being a centre-back, normally the penalty taker would be like Hazard or Benzema or somebody of that calibre, who's a natural goal scorer.
Attacker, yeah.
For it to be Sergio Ramos, and
I'm still laughing. Carry on, sorry.
And then he's he is a very, very top player at this current moment. You compare him to players like PK at Barcelona. PK's been falling off now
off for the last 2-3 years.
Easily, which is why Barcelona have been shambolic, especially defensively.
Their defense is probably the worst.
It arguably is one of the worst. Out of all top sides in Europe, they probably have got the worst defence. Like, out of all the top teams here, we're talking Liverpool, Man City, Bayern Munich, PSG, Real Madrid, Juventus, and then now Barcelona. Out of them top-tier teams that are always either winning the league or challenging for the league, they have to have the worst defence out of all of them. Now, a controversial thing that happened over the week, Barcelona, they played, was it Granada?
I'm not sure they played. Is this the game they lost 2-1 at home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lionel Messi scored a free kick.
And his reaction after?
And his reaction, he didn't, he swore, but by the looks of it, he looked like he was just getting angry.
Yeah, he was very angry. Were they losing at that
I have no idea. I didn't watch the game itself, but I seen his reaction, and I think what was worse was what he said
after the game.
after the game. Now, he brought up Roma. He brought up the Roma game where they lost 3-0 after being 3-0 up. He brought up the Liverpool game, which was completely identical. 3-0 up,
Yeah.
lose 3-0. No, lose 4-0.
4-0,
Yeah. Lose 4-0. He brought up the fact here that they were ahead
in both
in
ties.
in,
Yeah.
in both games. In the league, they were ahead. He even said that he doesn't know where this Barcelona side is going. Like he
He
can't
said
even
there's no
see.
balance.
He said that he can't even see Barca getting past Napoli, which he's the greatest player in the history of Barcelona. He's arguably the greatest player of all time. And he's easily the greatest player in La Liga history too.
Yeah.
If he's saying that, knowing that he's the main player, without him they wouldn't even click.
I don't even think we'll get top 4 without
They
him.
wouldn't get top.
I don't think they're top 4.
Yeah, like they would really struggle without him. Because I think he's scored 25 goals this season, or 24, or something like that. Behind him is Suarez, who's only on 15.
And he's been injured most of the
And
season.
yeah,
as well.
exactly.
So
and
what?
Griezmann has got less goals than Ramos in the league.
And they're playing him out of position.
Exactly. Now, another stat that I read about Barcelona too. Since Neymar left, he left in 2015 or 2016. Yeah, he left in 2016. They spent 750 million on players. They spent 350 million on 3 players, in Coutinho, Dembele, and Griezmann.
Yeah.
And not one of them has hit the heights that they would have, that they should have. Griezmann came to Barcelona, being the talisman player for Atletico Madrid, being a World Cup winner, to not even getting 10 goals this season. Coutinho came from Liverpool, being dubbed as Iniesta's replacement because he's such a
Probably the
Barcelona
best
star
player in the
player.
league at the time as well.
Easily, yeah, like he was one of the best midfielders in the league at the time for Liverpool. He went he went there being dubbed as a Barcelona star player. His trickery on the ball, his passing, his movement, his ability to score from far out, his 1-2s, like his style of play suited Barcelona.
Barca, yeah.
Dembele was dubbed as one of the greatest youngsters that a lot of people had seen in a very long time. He's arguably one of the best we've ever seen.
He come off a good season at Dortmund as
An
well.
unbelievable season with Dortmund, and I think he played with Mbappe. He played with Aubameyang, that season, and he was on fire as well, and he ended up being a flop. So we see that even though Real Madrid have lost Cristiano Ronaldo, they're still in that level of being able to win things. They signed Hazard, who even Hazard hasn't really because of his injuries. He hasn't even hit the ground running. Their defense this season has been the best in the world. It really has. I couldn't believe when I seen the stats for their defense.
Isn't it Courtois kept the most clean sheets
In all of Europe.
Yeah.
And last season, he was arguably one of the worst keepers.
Remember in the Champions League, he got subbed off against Club Brugge
Yeah.
when they were 2-0 down.
Yeah,
They
because
subbed
he was...
him off.
Yeah.
And when do you ever see a goalkeeper get subbed off?
Exactly, unless they're injured. That's the only time you'll ever see a
And
goalkeeper
that was this
subbed
season
off.
as well.
Exactly, and then he just completely...
Changed and just...
The whole defense transformed. Like, it's been unbelievable, yeah. And then you look at the midfielders. Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, Casemiro. They've been playing together for 5 years. They've got 3 back-to-back Champions Leagues and 2 league titles together. Kroos has won a treble with Bayern Munich, a Champions League, and 3, and I think 2... No. He's won 3 Champions League with Real Madrid, 1 with Bayern Munich. He's arguably one of the best midfielders of this generation. He's not looked at in that same light, which I find kind of bad.
I think he's not that, he's not that Pogba type of player, like flashy and doing all that stuff. He just kind of...
scores a goal in big games
it.
or
He
does
just
something
does his
remarkable
job,
in a big game.
gets a good pass off.
I think in the last 5 years, nobody has a better passing accuracy than Toni Kroos, which is an unbelievable stat. Because they play Champions League football every season. He's still, to this day, got the best Champions League passing accuracy.
It's not like Real Madrid dominate possession as well.
They don't. Yeah, they're more of a counter-attacking team.
Exactly.
Casemiro came in, and he wasn't even looked at as that player that was going to be that core for them in the midfield.
They bought him from Porto.
Exactly. And then when he came in, he didn't even play that well at the beginning. It was only when he got given a good run of games under Zidane where he just became an animal. Modric, when he moved in 2012, he was dubbed as the worst signing Real Madrid have made in the past decade.
And look where he is now.
And he's arguably been one of the best midfielders of the past decade as well. And he's a Ballon d'Or winner, which
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, because that kind of, I think that's annoyed everybody in that sense. But back to that point of them being a solid side, even without their greatest ever player, would Barcelona ever be able to do the same thing?
Other than say, you probably heard the rumours, not rumours, but like what people have been saying about when Messi retires, what happened to AC Milan will happen to Barca.
I don't think it will be that bad because
I don't think it'll be
Barcelona
that
will
bad.
always have that
'Cause
pulling
they
power.
have money as well.
They have money, yeah. They won't
can do
crumble as a financial business the way AC Milan did.
But I think
AC Milan crumbled financially.
There
They
are
literally
5
like
different owners,
like AC Milan
everything.
were like a tower and they just dropped. Whereas Barcelona won't. But Barcelona's biggest problem is that they're not looking at life after Messi,
they're not.
which is it's really gonna
You
be
take
bad.
Messi out the team, who's going to
They
create?
are
Who's
nothing.
going to score goals?
I mean, I feel like their transfer policy is arguably one of the worst I've ever seen. You're selling, to me, their midfield should have been built around Arthur and Frankie de Jong. You sold Arthur to buy a 30-year-old
Who's
in
gonna-
Pjanic, who isn't even that good.
He's not. He's had a shocking season as well.
Exactly, yeah. Like he was good when he was at Roma and his first season at Juventus. That's it.
After that, he's-
After that, he's been bang average.
why do you think Juventus has been
Arthur
bang
this
average as well?
season has been one of their best midfielders for Barcelona, and then they get rid of him knowing he's only 22 years old, and Frankie de Jong's the same age.
And which other midfielders you got?
They
Busquets,
have.
who's old.
I seen a stat which absolutely shocked me, honestly, because I didn't even think about it myself. Out of their 11 players in their starting 11, 9 of their players are above the age of 29.
That's shocking.
Exactly. Now, whereas if you look at Real Madrid, yes, they've got old players. Ramos is old. Modric is old. Benzema's old. Bale is old. Cruz is getting old. I think Cruz has just turned 30. I think Ramos is 33 or 32. But they've also bought players.
To
We're talking
replace them.
Vinicius Jr., who's 19. Eder Militao, who's 21. Rodrigo, who's 18. Ferland's Mendy, who's 21.
That Valverde, they brought him back on.
Simone Valverde is only 21 as well. Rafael Varane, who's 25.
And he's been around for.
And look at his
look-
trophy cabinet.
Look at his experience as well.
Exactly. He's a World Cup winner, multiple Champions Leagues, multiple league titles, and he's 25 years old, or 26, I think. For a centre-back, that's not even your prime year.
He's got a good
Your prime year for a
6, 7
centre-back's
years.
28.
They're good 6,
Yeah,
7
like
years left
27,
as well.
28. He's easily got that many years left in him. So Real Madrid are looking at the future. Barcelona aren't. They bought Griezmann, 29 years old. Suarez is 33. Messi's 33. Like, these players are not going to be here for that long. And Griezmann hasn't really hit the ground running, being a 29-year-old, especially being in the league. Yeah, you have to get used to Barcelona's style of play. But when you're dubbed as a top player, going there for almost 100 million, World Cup winner too.
You have to perform.
But when you're not being played in a good system, in the right position, it's like them if they played Hazard up top and Benzema on the wing. Are you going to get goals? Are you going to get assists from them players? No.
I do think that the balance of a team is better than having good players.
Yes, 100%.
Because look at Leicester. They're way better than Tottenham
Look at
and
us.
Arsenal. There you go. You know,
Our team is nowhere near. Like, if you actually look player for player, on paper, our team is nowhere near as good as Man City's. But if you actually look at the way our team was set up this season, it was set up a lot better than Man City's. Yes, Man City had injuries, but that's no excuse considering they've spent since
as a 100 years ahead.
for the last 5 years they've had a total net spend of 650 million. A net spend is a lot for a net spend. That's taking away the players that you've bought, and then
Whatever you spent.
exactly, Liverpool have had a net spend of 100 million,
Which is not a lot for a.
and to win the league, we've had a lower net spend than Arsenal and Wolves, and we've won the league. So it just shows, that you don't need an unbelievable side to win things. It's all about the balance.
Which is about building the players
Exactly.
up, playing in the right system. Because even
Yes, world-class players will win you more, but Real Madrid have showed that the balance that we have, even without Cristiano Ronaldo, we're able to win leagues. Whereas Barcelona,
they've just been shocking.
I still think that they will win the league. They will win league titles here and
Oh,
there
yeah.
because they are good in that way. Yeah, like they always win league titles because their squad is always capable of doing it. But Barca are a team, as well as Real Madrid are, as well as Bayern Munich are. Like Bayern Munich have won the league 9 years in a row now, but are they happy? No.
Of course not.
Why? Because they are a team that want the Champions League more than they want the league. Barcelona, I cannot see Barcelona getting there. Bayern Munich have they have a chance this season to win a treble. Yeah, and they do have a very good chance of winning the Champions League. They have arguably the most complete squad in all of Europe. It's theirs. Yeah, like they have a top player in each
depth,
position.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
their squad depth is unbelievable. Barcelona, I don't believe that they are gonna have the capability to beat top sides in the Champions
If
League.
they do beat Napoli, they're facing Bayern.
And
And if they do,
it's a one-off game, isn't it?
Exactly.
Like, I just can't see it
I don't
happening.
even see them beating Napoli. But if they do,
Honestly, I can't. Even though a few weeks ago when we were talking, I was saying that I can't see Napoli beating Barca. But now,
But I was
when you
telling
actually
you,
look
if you
at the
look at
way
how
their
they
team
play,
is, if Messi doesn't turn up in that game, they got no chance.
they were lucky in the first leg to get away.
They
goal.
were. They
It was
were.
like one defensive
They
mistake
need
and
Messi
scored.
in that game to turn up, otherwise they've got no chance. Yeah, but Messi's morale looks like it's down at the
And I
moment.
think him saying those things,
It's
I
going to
think
be
the rest
a
of the dressing room
major,
is like,
it's going to be a major downers for the entire team. So that's a big problem.
I think next year they just have to reset. They have to like do something, because I'm not sure what their financial director is doing is as well. You know,
They
getting rid
are
of Arthur,
crumbling, yeah.
doing everything. I'm not sure I'm not sure what's going on with the club. So
We're coming to the end of the first half of the show now. So hopefully you stay tuned for the next half of the show and we'll see you soon. Hi everyone, we are back on the show. Basically, the second part of the show, we were talking, and I remember on the second show we had a message coming on WhatsApp, and it was towards the end of the show, so we couldn't really talk in depth about it at the time. And at the time, there was Hasib and Zian were with us too. But I think we should go back on that question because it was a very open question to actually discuss. The question was, who do we believe, in our opinion, are the most overrated and underrated players in the league? So, like...
You want me to start?
Yeah, sure.
I think, I don't know, you won't remember, but I did mention Richarlison.
Everton,
Yeah. Richarlison, the one that we plays everywhere, really. Right wing, left wing, even up front sometimes. And I did have a look at his stats earlier today. And if you compare him to a player like Son, for example,
who I think is overrated. And I'll tell you why.
Well.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why
With
after.
that is, he's got 11 goals and 11 assists in the Premier League this season.
Wow.
Son, this is...
Oh, Son, okay.
Son has... you look at, obviously plays for a better team. He plays further up the pitch. He runs at players. Richarlison's always further back. Richarlison has 12 goals and 10 assists. And he plays for a very poor Everton side, who, even Ancelotti's come in, they've been a
So
little
the
bit
stats
better.
are the same?
The stats are very similar, but look at the
Well, the goal
squad
contributions are the same.
are the same, and look at the squad difference, and no one
Yeah,
rates
it's
Richarlison.
true.
Like, everyone ramps about how,
Everybody,
Son.
yes. See, that's the thing that I have with Son. I'm not denying his ability at all. He is technically one of the best in the league. He's 2-footed, he's fast, he's got height, he's very good at holding up the ball, etc. But when people say that he's one of the best wingers in the league, first of all, there's not a lot of wingers in the league anyway. Let's be honest, yeah. Like, the winger quality in the league isn't unreal. Like, there's enough wingers, but they're not all. Like,
not all.
Okay, yeah, like, how many are world class, really? Yeah, like, and the problem that I have with Son is that, fair enough, he's got 11 goals and 11 assists in the league alone. That is amazing. That is, yet to get double digits on both, that is very good. But the problem that I have is,
I laughed because you said...
yeah. The problem that I have with Son is that he's very inconsistent. Like, Son's that guy where he would do good for like 5 or 6 games, then he won't turn up again for a few months. And Martial does the same thing. And he's another player who I find... I wouldn't say he's very overrated in my opinion. I think that they rate him too highly, Man United fans do. I think, yes, this season he's been good. But this is his first good season. In how long?
And look, he's talking about
And
5
he's been
years.
here, since 2015?
Yeah.
He came into
like 19
he
when he was
came in the
19, I think.
2014-15 season, and yeah, he's young, fine, but they call him like, I know United fans have got him that nickname for him, the Ice Cold Martial.
Yeah.
That's what they call him. He's never hit past 11 goals in his entire life, but this season. Against, I think it was against Bournemouth. He missed a one-on-one. Yeah, he scored afterwards, but he was
the game they
one-on-one.
drew, yeah.
He ran through the centre. He was on his own,
And hit straight
and
at the
he
keeper.
hit it straight at the keeper. What's ice cold about that?
And he,
For
how
any
high
other
they rate him,
exactly
yes,
for
and
how
that.
high they rate him, yeah. Like, any other player would and should score that. Yeah, like, regardless, yeah. Like, I would honestly, because of his pace and his ability, I thought he would have took it past the keeper and scored.
He should have just shot like near post. or
Exactly.
something,
Yeah,
scored.
but that's the reason why I think he's overrated too. Yeah, an underrated player, I'd have to say Mohamed Salah. Now, I
That's
know that
another
you're...
controversial
Yeah, like,
one.
I know what you're thinking, yeah, that, how could you call him underrated when people rate him? I feel like people rate him, but they don't rate him highly enough.
For what he's doing for the team.
People don't rate him highly enough for what he's done in the league. He has got the best goals to games ratio the league has seen in the past decade. He's got over 100 goal contributions in 120 games for Liverpool from the wing.
Which is unheard of.
From the wing.
Other than Messi and Ronaldo.
Exactly.
No one else does that.
Exactly. He has got 2 back-to-back golden boots. He's hit 19 goals this season, and people are saying he's had an average season.
20 goals.
And he's probably got at least 9 assists or 7 assists or something like that. So we're talking about a player who 2 back-to-back golden boots. He's the only winger in the top 5 out of the goal scorers. He has been the only winger. Yeah, only Mane joined him last season. Yeah.
Is he this season as well?
Who, Mane?
Yeah.
He's on 15, so he's a bit lower.
So his last season
yeah,
then,
yeah,
yeah.
like, yeah. Whereas last season he got 22, Salah got 22, and Aubameyang got
Oh,
22,
yeah.
so they shared.
Yeah, yeah.
He's got two back to. He broke the record for a single Premier League
In
season.
his first season
Like,
as well.
exactly. I believe why people don't rate him is because they think he's a very one-dimensional player. That if he doesn't get the ball to his feet and like where he's in and around goal, he can't do anything.
And on his right foot
Not
as well.
realizing he gets assists. He does get assists. People don't realize this, but the reason why they don't realize it is because he scores a lot more than he assists from the wing, and people want wingers to assist more. I remember last season people were saying that Sterling is better than him, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Raheem Sterling he's nowhere near better than Salah.
He's another one that you could say is a bit overrated as well. Slightly.
I think his numbers are good. They are good. His performances, though. I think in big, like, you give a lot of wingers that are decent in the league De Bruyne behind you.
You're getting goals.
I think you're going to score a lot of goals too. It is, I mean, come on, put De Bruyne behind Salah. He's breaking another record. It's as simple as that.
And
He's
it's
getting
not
20.
like Sterling runs at players and beats them. He gets
He
the ball
doesn't,
and
yeah,
runs
he
in
doesn't,
behind.
yeah,
But then
he
you look at a
does.
player like Mahrez, who I think is a bit underrated.
He's massively underrated.
Because I think with him, he gets the ball to feet, takes on players, and puts it top bins.
But do you think he's underrated because he comes off the bench?
He's starting this season, isn't he?
He's starting more this season, but last season, in it because of Bernardo Silva.
was on the form.
Now Bernardo Silva's been benched, whereas Mahrez is starting.
And Mahrez has been better.
But that could happen. See, but the problem is that could happen next season where Mahrez could end up being benched again. And the problem, I feel like that is the problem with Man City players. I feel like that is the problem with Man City players because they've got so much talent. Their numbers have to do them more. Like look at Kevin De Bruyne this season, 18 assists. He's been arguably the best player in the world this season, probably behind Messi in the league. Mahrez isn't ever going to be like used in the same. He's never going to be put in the same sentence as De Bruyne. But when you actually look at Mahrez's quality, he'd get into any team.
He would.
He would. He'd get into Liverpool's midfield comfortably, and nobody can argue that because that creativity that he's got, teams want. Arsenal would have loved Riyad Mahrez.
They should have got him over
when
Pepe.
they should have got him.
They should have got him when they wanted
Yeah.
him.
Chelsea, even though Chelsea have bought Ziyech now, they would have loved a Mahrez too. Yeah, like if you actually look at teams like Chelsea and Man United, they're buying Mahrez style players in Bruno Fernandes, who's got good trickery on the ball. He's got good ball control, good dribbling, ability to score, great passing, good IQ. Same as Ziyech, who we still have to see in the Prem. But from what we've seen of him in Ajax
And in the Champions League.
and in the Champions League, he's been a phenomenal player for Ajax. Mahrez is them. He's that style of player. He's like a Thiago, for Bayern Munich. He's like a Frankie de Jong.
How much did he go for to say it was a 60 million?
60 million. He's their record signing.
And who do you rather have in your
Actually,
team?
is he their record signing or is it? I think it's Rodri now.
Probably is Rodri now,
Yeah, but it is
At the time.
Mahrez.
But then who would Arsenal would you rather paid 60 million for Mahrez or 80 million for Pepe?
Well,
Mahrez
they paid
would-
35 million for Xhaka, whereas Chelsea paid 32 million for Kante.
There you go.
But that's just a whole different topic when
But I
it comes
think
to
with-
buying players. But you're right in that
They'd
sense that when
rather
it comes to
got that player.
quality, Mahrez isn't looked at in that same position as the way a lot of other wingers or midfielders are looked at because he doesn't get the numbers that they get.
But it's about what he does for the team, create space.
As a
takes
midfielder,
players
it's
out the
not
game.
all about numbers. As a forward, yes, it is. It is all about numbers as a forward, depending on if any other attacker in your team is getting numbers, like Firmino.
Yeah.
He's a player who has been heavily criticised.
Especially this season.
Heavily criticised this season because, yes, I do admit his goal scoring record is not great at all. At Anfield, he hasn't scored in a very long time. Apparently, there was a stat that I seen in, I think, 52 shots, he scored no goals. Which, yes, I admit that is quite bad when you deep it. But if you look at the way Firmino plays, he's the reason why Mane and Salah play the way they play. He's the reason, why Trent is able to bomb down the right, why Robertson is able to bomb down the left, because Firmino, being the threat that he is, he brings players out of position. Yes, he doesn't get goals.
He is the striker, so a centre back will follow him.
Exactly. And because obviously, yes, if we didn't have goal scoring wingers like Mane and Salah, then even I would criticise him. I would be like, you know what? He's the main goal scorer. Like when Suarez was in the team 5-6 years ago. He was our only major goal scorer in that team. Yes, Sturridge got 20 goals with him. He got most of them goals because of Luis Suarez. Yeah. Suarez was our only goal scorer, technically. We didn't have Sterling, who was a goal scorer, Coutinho, who was a goal scorer. They scored one goal every, 10 games. Yeah, it wasn't that. Whereas our team now, we have two wingers who are serial goal scorers. We have two fullbacks who are getting 10 plus assists every season, all because of Firmino. And that's what I think that's what people need to understand. Yes, as a forward, it is your job to score goals. But when you already have goal scorers beside you, why do you need to do that?
You'd rather help the team.
He doesn't. People don't realize how unselfish he is. He is the most unselfish player probably in all of Europe, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He would rather put a dummy through his legs and let Salah score than take the shot himself, because he did that. He did that when Mane, I don't remember who it was against, but Mane had sweated it to him, a cross goal. He could have took the shot himself. He left it for Salah. Which other striker would leave that? No, even if it's a 50-50 chance of scoring, he knew in his head, that you know what? Salah, there's a 90% chance that this is going in. With me, probably 50 because of the angle that I'm in. Which other striker wouldn't take it, even if it's at a 50% chance?
Doesn't take it.
Nobody would not take that shot. Whereas Firmino would always think of the team before his own numbers. He's a key reason as to why we've won the Premier League, we've won the Champions League, we've won the Super Cup. He's the key reason as to why. People aren't realising that, so he's another major underrated player.
And I think without him, I don't think Liverpool do as good as they've done.
No chance. Because whenever he's not playing, honestly, if you watch Liverpool when he's not playing, we look lost without him.
Because there was that thing that you told me where they could have got Werner in and maybe drop Firmino in cam, but I don't think they'll play as well.
See, Firmino does play better as a cam. But the way our team plays now, we don't play a cam style formation.
Two centre mids.
We play two centre mids and a DM. Which is why I personally don't think we should change the formation for one player. If it's not broke, don't fix it. It's as simple as that. It hasn't been broken for the last 2 years, which is why we've won two of the major trophies that we could possibly win, the Champions League and the Premier League.
The only thing they can do now is maybe get a few centre mids in, but there's no need to change.
There's no need to change the formation, the style of play just for one player, when Firmino's doing everything right for our team. He is the core to that team. He's not our best player. He's not even our third or fourth best player.
He's the most important player.
But he's the most important player in that attack and midfield put together.
Without him, it wouldn't work.
Without him and Van Dijk, we wouldn't be able to win the trophies that we've won. That is a fact.
No chance.
So who else do you think's overrated and underrated in the league?
I know other ones in mind because it's quite a...
What about across Europe then?
I'll be a bit biased here. I do think Dries Mertens is very underrated.
Dries Mertens, the Napoli striker?
Yeah, I think he's very, very underrated. I think what he does in big games, like against Liverpool, look at Liverpool's record against Napoli.
Yeah. I think we've only been you once in 4 games.
Yeah, and that was a 1-0 win as well.
Exactly.
And Napoli could have scored at the end, but Mertens scored I think 3 goals in those 4 games. And I think looking at against Barca, he's the one that got the goal.
But do you think he's underrated because he's hardly known? He's known. Let's be honest.
Recently.
Here in this country, Serie A isn't that popular.
No.
Only Juventus are, and teams know about AC Milan and Inter Milan, and now they know about Napoli because they're constantly in the Champions League. But the only time players see, or even fans of football see, the performances of a Dries Mertens, of an Insigne, Koulibaly, is only in the Champions League.
Yeah.
And the fact that I think the reason why fans don't rate him as highly is because he doesn't play enough. So yes, he'll play the 4 games. Yes, he'll play the 6 games in the group stage, and then he'll play the round of 16, and that's it. Napoli are gone. So they don't see much of him. And then when you played in the Europa League last season, and when you faced Arsenal, he didn't do anything.
He didn't even start. I think he was on the bench.
Exactly. So I feel like that's why people don't rate him highly enough. Yes, his numbers have been very good for you. He's your record goal scorer as well. But when you actually deep it, he's not going to be rated highly because he's not known. Yeah. He's not a very known player.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah, for me, across Europe, I think Neymar is looked at as an overrated player, which I
Which is a
don't
joke.
see how.
Absolute joke.
I don't get how people call Neymar overrated.
I think it's because of the league he's playing in. People
It's the
think-
league that he's playing in, and I feel like it's his attitude. People don't like the fact here that he's not only football focused.
He does
He
everything.
loves his fashion. He loves his media. He loves his fame. He loves everything about the
And on the
stardom.
pitch, the stuff that he does.
Exactly. He's very flashy. He loves to like.
Was
he-
it
he-
against you lot when he did the rainbow
Oh,
flick in
my
the middle of a game
life.
in the Champions League?
in a
game,
Champions League
he's doing a
game
rainbow flick.
against Liverpool as well. So, like, it's not like he faced Karabag or somebody like that.
he's facing
He
a
faced
top
Liverpool
team.
and he rainbow flicked Shaqiri.
And it wasn't even.
And
like
this was like the 75th minute, so the tail
Exactly.
end of the game. You'd expect players to be tired. And he's there doing rainbow flicks. I remember when he was playing for Barcelona, when he flicked the ball over his head and he scored. Oh, I mean,
But you don't see players do that.
Barcelona have not won the Champions League without
Since
since
he's
he's gone.
And
They
look
haven't.
at what's happened since.
And
you
look
know,
at they've tried to replace him
And they haven't. They can't.
twice with Dembele. No, 3 times with Dembele, Coutinho, Griezmann, and nothing. They need Neymar back. Barcelona do.
I don't think they'll get him.
They won't, because I was saying this to a friend of mine a few days ago. I said that the reason why they won't get him is because he's underappreciated there. He's loved at PSG. Yeah, they hated him because of his attitude. But then they realised that, you know what, we have got a star.
We're lucky to have him.
Yeah, we're lucky to have a player like him. If you actually look at his numbers, yes, people can be like, okay, it's a farmers league, it's not a great league. People need to realise that some stars have come from that league. And if the league's that bad, you'd expect Di Maria to hit those numbers as well then.
Yeah.
Like you'd expect players like Pepe, who was there last season, you'd expect him to hit them numbers too.
And
But he
hasn't.
never. Neymar is, yes, he is too good for that league. We all know that. Mbappe's too good for that league. Di Maria was too good for that league. Ibrahimovic was too good for that league. We know that.
Cavani.
But they're there. And the fact is that you can say that he plays in League One, French league, average league. But he turns up in Champions League too. He always turns up in Champions
the two
League.
times PSG have got knocked out where they've.
He
he
wasn't
hasn't
playing.
He hasn't played.
And if he did play, it might have been a different. It would have definitely been a
100%.
different.
They would have
game.
won the game.
Easily. People don't realize how influential he is in a team, and people that say that he wouldn't walk into any team in Europe. I think they need to stop lying to them. Neymar would walk into any team in Europe.
100%.
He would walk into every single team. People would change play. People would change formation to build their team
He's the
around
type
him.
of player, like we talked about Liverpool, how they wouldn't change Timo Werner. If they could have Neymar, he's getting in the team.
He is.
There's no way that Mane is starting over Neymar. No chance. Don't smile. There's no way. Let's give an example.
Mane's underrated too. Then
Yeah.
he's
This
rated
season-
now this season because people are like, okay, he's been Liverpool's best player, etc. But he's not like I don't know, man. He's not.
I think when he came, he wasn't world class.
He came from
And
Southampton.
There you go.
So he was never going to
he
be
was a
deemed
solid
world
player,
class.
don't get me wrong, but he was never the level he is now. Like, you know that famous video of that guy where he goes, Mane is the greatest footballer.
Oh yeah. The Scouse
yeah.
fan
Like, when
outside
was that?
Anfield.
Like 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago.
And
Yeah,
everyone was like, laughing at him, but look at him
Yeah,
now.
I know, and
If you
he's
said
out-
that now, you know what? You can't.
you can't argue. He's one of the best players in the world.
Probably is.
Another controversial opinion of mine when it comes to overrated is Robert Lewandowski.
Okay.
And here's why. We know that he's a serial goal scorer. He's won 5 golden boots in a row, or I think 4 in a row, since being at Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich dominate that league. They've scored over 100 goals in the league alone. They've got the most clean sheets. Muller's got the most assists. He's got the most goals. The whole, like, every stat is majority Bayern Munich. They've got like a 25-point gap ahead of Dortmund or something like that, or a 20-point gap. My problem with Robert Lewandowski is, in big games, he doesn't turn up. And we've seen it. People could bring up, he scored against Spurs, he scored against Chelsea. They're not big teams, though, this season. Chelsea have had Lampard, and they're playing English youngsters. Yeah, it's Lampard's first season. They're
And
playing players
Spurs-
like Tammy Abraham up front.
Spurs have been shocking
And
as well.
Spurs have been shocking this season. Yeah, like they got knocked out 3-0 by RB Leipzig, who only have one world-class player in their team, in Werner. Yeah, like they don't have anybody else.
Everyone else just, a bit.
Everyone
like
else is either
average.
young or they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Upamecano, Konate, Sabitzer. They're young players. Robert Lewandowski against Liverpool last season, home and away, did nothing. The season before, Real Madrid, home and away, did nothing. You have to turn up in these games, especially in the Champions
Like,
League.
he hasn't got to a final since
Since under Klopp.
And look at the teams Bayern's had in the last 3-4 years.
Exactly.
And they've never even got, like, last year knocked out by you.
Yeah. And he did nothing that game.
He did nothing.
They got
And
an own goal. The only goal over 2 legs was an own goal by
And
Matip.
look at the team they have.
Exactly. They have one of the most complete squads in Europe. They have a world-class striker. They have top-level wingers. They have an unbelievable midfield. Kimmich is a world-class player. People don't look at Kimmich as a top player. People need to realise he's a player that can play anywhere.
Started off as a right back.
He started off as a right back, and now he's a DM. And if they want him to play right back, he'll go back there and he'll do another job.
Who's the right back now?
Benjamin Pavard.
Yes.
Because
Oh,
obviously they bought him.
Yeah.
Alphonso Davies is their left back. They're playing David Alaba centre back. They have so many versatile players.
play everywhere.
They've got an unbelievable squad, but the problem with him that I have is that he doesn't turn up in big games.
He doesn't.
He just doesn't, like, and until I see that, like, for example, let's say Barcelona beat you lot. If he doesn't turn up against Barcelona, yes, Barcelona haven't been great, but it's still a big game. Yeah, like, you can't take Barcelona lightly no matter who you are or no matter how bad they've been. Yeah, like, you just can't, because at the end of the day,
It is
they
Barcelona.
do have the quality to win games. They do, and they have Messi. Yeah, which exactly that. He's a focal point in any team that he goes in. Lewandowski needs to score.
I do think against, the top defenders, like the Van Dijks, the Koulibaly, the Ramos.
He doesn't do anything.
He doesn't do nothing, but
He
I do
doesn't.
think the game plan is let's mark him.
Because
So-
I know, but if you actually look
If
at
you're
other
good-
top
if you're
teams,
good enough,
they
you-
all have one striker. It's not like top teams have 2
But
strikers
then I
now.
don't think he's good enough to get the job done on his own. Because you look at
Man
other
City have
strikers, they
Aguero.
score.
Yeah, but they've got Serge Gnabry now, so we're gonna have to see this season about what they're capable of doing. So obviously, we're coming up to the last minute of the show now, which has gone actually very fast. To be honest, we didn't even get through the players that we enough players. I was gonna bring up so many.
Yeah.
I feel like we could have spoke about this for probably another hour. With the amount of players that we actually
do
could have
that
gone
next
into
episode.
in depth. Just the last thing I want to touch up on. The next 2 days, we got the FA Cup.
Yeah.
FA Cup game. So we got Arsenal versus Man City today. 7:45 kickoff at Wembley. Just quickly, what's your predictions for that game?
I think City will win.
I believe they'll win. I
think
mean, at the
City
end of the day, anything can happen being Wembley. Being a neutral stadium, but City just...
I do think City will win.
Yeah. And what about the following game, Chelsea Man United?
I think United will win that as well.
So you think there's going to be a Manchester Derby final?
Because I think United have Chelsea's number as well, beat them 3-4 times this season.
It's going to be it's going to be 2 fantastic games. Hopefully we could talk about them next week. So if you join us next week, you'll be hearing from us again. So see you soon.